everyone. Hope you all are doing well. Today we'll discuss topic female reproductive system. This is the topic of human reproduction. Well, we'll see female reproductive organs are a pair of ovaries, right? Here the purple color structures, they are called ovaries. They are extended into tube-like structure, as you can see, that is called fallopian tube, or we can call oviduct as well. Then it open into hollow womb-like structure, which is called uterus, and then uterus extended into narrow passage, that is called cervix, and more narrow passage is called as vagina. So one by one, let us study about the reproductive organs of female. Here is a diagram also where I have labeled each and everything, so easily you can recognize, like two pair of ovaries are there, then it extend into tubes which are called fallopian tubes, and then it open into the middle structure is called uterus, and the womb structure is uterine cavity, then it open into cervix, and then vaginal passage is there. So see the first primary reproductive organ, that is ovary. So let us discuss about the ovary. Why we are calling them primary? Because it plays a very vital role in female reproductive organ. So we are calling them primary sex organ. It is lying each side of the uterus. As you can see, this is uterus and both of the side they are lying. Well, it produce female gamete. Female gamete, it means ovum, or we can call ova. Eggs are produced by the ovaries. So the function of ovary is to produce female gamete and secrete female hormone as well, that is estrogen and progesterone. I hope that is not a new word for you, estrogen and progesterone. Progesterone basically helping during pregnancy time, and estrogen is helping during secondary sexual character of the female. Well, next is structure of the ovary. If we emphasize more about the ovary structure, so we'll see, please try to focus on this diagram where the ovaries are lying both sides of the uterus. It is covered by thin epithelium. It means it is covered by the layer which is called epithelium. It is thin in nature, right? Inside, ovarian stromas are there. Like here you can see bulb-like structures are there in the ovaries. They are ovarian stroma. Now next, two portions are there in the ovaries. Ovarian stroma is overall ovarian stroma, right? Now ovarian stroma get divided into two parts. One will be peripheral cortex and another will be inner medulla. As per name, we can say the cortex which is lying outside. So outside area it's considered as peripheral cortex, and when we enter more or we are going inside ovary, that is called inner medulla portion, and overall portion is called ovarian stroma. Is it clear? Next we'll talk about oviduct, or we can call fallopian tube. Here you will see ovaries are there and they are open into a tube-like structure both sides. This tube-like structure is called fallopian tube. It is also called as oviduct. It exists in pair. Originate from periphery ovary and extend up to the uterus. As you can see, like in previous diagram, if you'll observe, here it is ovary, right? So it is started from the peripheral part. As I told you, the peripheral part is the upper portion part of the ovary, right? And the internal one is called inner medulla. So we'll see it starts from the peripheral cortex part of the ovary and get extended till up to uterus. Here I have mentioned till up to the uterus. Well, if we'll see the function of the fallopian tube, so they both receives ovum from ovary. Of course, they are receiving egg, ovum, or we can call ova, which is coming from the ovary. Now here fallopian tube divides into three parts. Here we'll check out the fallopian tubes. Like there two fallopian tubes are there. They are divided into three parts. Here you have to remember about this. The first part is infundibulum part. Here you will see the first part, like this is ovary, right? And this ovary is connected, it get extended into tube, right? So this tube is called fallopian tube. So the first portion which attach tube to ovary, that is called infundibulum. Infundibulum. Here you can check, I have mentioned infundibulum. It's a funnel like structure, right? Now this infundibulum structure extended, and the middle portion it's called as ampulla. Here you can see the ampulla portion is there. An ampulla portion extended into more narrow portion, and that is called isthmus. So here you have to learn fallopian tube divides into three parts. The first portion it's called infundibulum, which is the first portion, which is the connectivity between fallopian tube and ovary, the first portion. Then it open into a canal structure, that is called ampulla, and then the more narrow passage is there, that is called isthmus. So these are the part of the fallopian tube. Well, next we'll see few more parts are there of female reproductive organ. So that is uterus. It is pear-shaped structure is there. This middle portion it's called as pear-shaped structure, it's called uterus. Here I have mentioned it's a hollow structure and fetus developed here. Uterus developed by three layers. Here you have to remember, as you can see, this middle portion it's called as uterus. The internal one is a hollow in nature, right? But at the same time, when you will check out the boundary of the uterus, you will get some linings are there which carry blood vessels. So there are the three layers of the uterus. The first layer, you'll see the first layer, this is the first layer, this is called perimetrium, right? It is thin layer and it is made up of connective tissue, right? Then inner, you will see the inner layer hits myometrium. So myometrium is a middle layer which is undergoes during contraction. It means it creates contraction during pregnancy. Just because of this only the contraction takes place and the baby comes out from the passage. Well, we'll see endometrium, the most inner membrane of the uterus, that is inner glandular layer composed of functional and basal endometrium. It means endometrium, it's an innermost layer which is divided into two parts. It's a functional and basal. So this is basal and internal one will be functional. So here are the three layers of the uterus, that is peri, then next middle is called myometrium, and innermost is called as endometrium. Well, next we'll see uterus open into a narrow passage, and this narrow passage is called as cervix, and the last organ of the female reproductive, that is vagina, it's a tube-like structure. It is the structure which carry penis, and penis will discharge sperm and they will get fused with the egg. If they will get fused with the egg, like it's not every time the lady will be pregnant. So it is something like this. When it get fused, the fertilization will takes place and next gradual changes will takes place. But if there is no fertilization, then menstruation will be there. So that we'll discuss in the next topic. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.